Hey everybody, this is the Pocket Camera Guy, and today I want to take just a couple minutes to talk to you about a recent trip that I took. Went to Charleston, South Carolina, and the purpose of this channel is to discuss pocket cameras. And on a trip like that, I wanted to take a few different cameras with me, and so today we're going to talk about some of the successes I had and some of the challenges I had using these pocket cameras that I hope will help you plan for your next trip and deciding what camera or cameras you should take. So let's talk about that. All right, everybody. So like I said in the beginning, we're going to be talking about a recent trip I took to Charleston, South Carolina, and the cameras that I took. Before we get into that, let's talk about today's setup. Today I am using my Google Pixel 6a along with a lavalier mic, very inexpensive, and I've got this connected directly into my cell phone. This phone is a dedicated content creating phone, which means I don't have it hooked up to a network. I simply use this for photography and videography, and then I take those images, I download them to my computer, and that's it. So on occasion, I can use this phone to surf the web, edit video, but I don't use it as a traditional cell phone because I don't, like right now, I don't want it to ring, I don't want it to send me a notification, I don't want to have to worry about space on the internal memory. So again, this is dedicated just for content creation. So now that you know what we're using today, let's talk about the trip. All right, so I took a trip. I went to Charleston, South Carolina with my wife, and let's adjust this just a little bit. All right, and so with any trip, you want to take a camera, especially if you're like us, I assume you're like me. You like recording life events, you like using cameras, photos, videos, whatever. And so I took a handful of cameras, and I've got them right here. One was GoPro. I took the GoPro Hero 11. One of the cameras that I took was the DJI Osmo Action 2. And I also took my Insta360 Insta360 X2. All right, along with my Sony ZV-1F if I wanted better portrait photos. And as always, I had my iPhone in my pocket. So the reason why I took so many cameras is because I really did want to find out which one was the easiest one to use, the most convenient, and which one was going to produce the best results. Because when you look at the price point, they're all about the same price. All right, two of them are last year's models, the X2 and the Hero. Well, the Hero 11 is the current model, but we're about to get the 12. So I would say that it's on the way to being an older model. And of course, the Action 2 is 2 iterations removed. They've had the 3 and the 4 since this one came out. So you can find these about the same price. They're all very similar when it comes to image quality. The GoPro is going to have the best image quality, but I would submit most people don't record in the 5.3K only because it's a much larger file and harder to edit. You have to have a processor on your computer that can handle that size file. And so I prefer to use 4K. The DJI Action 2, I use that in 4K. And then the X2, even though it does shoot it over 5K in 360 degree, when you break those down, it's going to be a 1080 image, but if you use it just in the single lens mode, you can get 4K out of that. So they're all pretty similar. Wide field of view, work best when you have a lot of light. So successes. The success was that they're very easy to carry, very easy to use, single buttons in most cases. And so turning it on, firing off a shot, getting something on video, for all 3 cameras, very, very similar. I would say that photo quality probably goes to the GoPro. So if you're looking to do something more photo-centric, the GoPro. The only hesitation that I have with the GoPro, and it's not really so much a knock as it is just a preference. I love using my GoPro, but it isn't quite as interesting when you take your shots as these other cameras. And you can't be, it's harder to be creative with the GoPro than with these other cameras. And I'll start off with the Action 2, because that allows you to do things that you just can't do with a GoPro. I can take this, when I'm using this camera, I don't feel like I stand out in a crowd. And so I like using this one. It doesn't, I don't look like the typical tourist with a big camera taking pictures. So this is easy, okay? This is easy to carry, fits in your pocket. And the wide field of view, I can get some stellar shots because this is a 155-degree field of view. And it does have the rear screen, so you can see what you're doing, but when you're doing it in selfie mode, you don't have that screen. Now you can buy this separate part, but once you connect these two together, now you've got something that's about the same size as a GoPro. All right, so I like this setup. I can also put this on a selfie stick and it doesn't draw too much attention. I can take this and put it on the lanyard, very similar to the Go 2 and Go 3, and get the first person, POV shots. So I like this one a lot. The only problem, well, I won't say only, the downside to using this is probably the same thing as I just mentioned, one of its strengths, the wide field of view. I was sitting, and I might try to throw up one of the pictures here. I was on a carriage ride, took a picture with this, and to your eye, you feel like you're very close to the subject. But when you take a picture with this and the wide field of view, it makes it look like you're football fields away. And so I wasn't able to get the photos that I wanted from this just because it's such a wide field of view. And it does have a zoom, but it's digital. And so that's going to be the case for all three of these, because even with the GoPro, which doesn't have quite the field of view as the Osmo Action, it's still a very similar issue. You have to be very close to your subject if you want to get a good picture. Now, landscape photography, this is great. Because it's got such a wide field of view, you can capture a lot of that landscape. Now, when it comes to the most creative, that would be my X2. I absolutely love taking this camera with me and getting 360 shots. And I'll put one up here. I've taken this to DC, I've taken this to the beach. This is probably my favorite camera for getting creative shots while I'm on vacation that really allow you to immerse yourself in where I am and what I'm doing. So this one is a must. This one you've got to have. So if I was to say out of all three of these cameras, which one, if I could only pick one, which one would I take? It would be the X2 every time. And now that they have the X3 out, which the specs are a little bit bigger on the lens, and it does have the bigger screen here, I would go that route. External audio, you can plug that right in. I've got the adapter right here. And so this just plugs right in the side, and then you've got external audio. Let's see. Oh, and this bracket, I would highly recommend getting this bracket because it sets right in there on your selfie stick, and then you can put your external microphone right here. So out of these three cameras, the X2 by far my favorite. Very easy to use. I wouldn't say it's the most convenient, but I would say that I get the most out of it when I go on vacation. Do have to watch that image quality. The photos, not the best. You really need a lot of light, and the skin tones tend to be a little wonky, so pay attention to that. But all in all, I had a great trip. Really enjoyed using these cameras. Let me know in the comments which camera you have, which one you're looking at, maybe be interested to buy, and any questions you might have about these cameras when taking them on a vacation or hiking, running, any of the things that you might do outside, because chances are I probably done one or two of them. So hey, this is the Pocket Camera Guy. Thanks so much for taking the time. Make sure to drop a like over here and or down there, and then hey, let me know what you thought of the video, and if you like this kind of stuff, become a subscriber. Really appreciate it. Y'all take care. We will see you in the next one.